Hey folks, Quilly here, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 as Japan. The world is currently at peace. It is 1945, and this is what the world looks like. We've got the entire coastline over here. Oh, we left a little island. I missed that. Oh, the Olympics in Tokyo. Hey, how appropriate is that? Unitary Canada. We've got Free American Empire over here, which is quite cute. A little bit more German Reich and Italy over here. And we are positioning ourselves for potentially a war against the German Reich. A lot of work to be done before anything like that happens. We are reshuffling our troops a lot. I've got everyone currently exercising because I'm trying to bring up my army experience so we can actually start to deploy medium tank divisions. I would not want to go to war for at least several months because we actually have to build up our tanks, which is going to be a core part of what's going to happen here. That being said, if we did start now, maybe we'd be able to sneak attack right into Berlin. This is the general plan. I'm going to try to get especially heavy armored units over here from Denmark to rip down towards Berlin. I'm also going to try to get amphibious landings in Kiel, Rostock, and Stettin. Actually, we might skip over Kiel. Nah, there's going to be a good amount of defense there, and it's so narrow that it's going to be quite a bit of a choke point. I expect a lot of the naval invasions to fail. But, I mean, again, we still have a long way to go before we get there. We still have exiled divisions. Everyone should have been assigned to something. What are you? Right, because we don't actually control Iraq over here. Are you... What are you? You are in the Axis. You're a puppet of Germany. Yeah, all right, fair enough. What is the plan? We've got control over this, which is great. The Iranian group, which is, you know, more or less inaccurate, but that's okay. We're going to give you a front line that's something like, say, this, and your offensive line will be some sort of move like this. I mean, I'm not being too precise, but that's okay. So we'll get you to sort out, and we'll keep finding anyone who's exiled and try to reorganize them. There's lots of planning we still have to do. Luckily, the borders didn't really change over here, so our old war plans, as they were, which is not much of a war plan, they're still in place. But the big one is building up basically completely fresh armies for over here, because I want them to be the latest and greatest types of units. A lot of construction added to the queue. I mean, I shuffle things around so all the repair is at the top, but I've got a lot of radar, air bases. We will want level 3 Marines for this. Air bases, naval bases are all going to be set up over here, including like a couple of just like 1-point naval bases being built because you can run naval invasions from there. As far as I can tell, the size of the naval base has no impact on the naval invasion speed or size or anything like that, which is great. All of my ships have been told to relocate to here. Because I'm going to just redeploy them all. So I'm going to wait until all my naval units have been assembled, and I'm going to reissue them. I didn't expect... Oh, of course, everything's going to be getting attritioned right now because we are training everything. Very, very important. Yeah, I sort of wish I hadn't upgraded my... I don't know, what is it, some tanks or something last time around? People are canceling their non-aggression pact. There's going to be more of that going on as well. That is the next level of strategic bomber. We're going to keep going down there as well, because that could prove to be incredibly critical for the next war. We don't know. I'm going to want maxed out naval control over the entire north coast over here. It's going to be really important. If we can grab the Mediterranean, excellent. But we'll see. Mechanized equipment 3, great. We'll have to change our production queue. Do we want naval? The next naval... Actually, we're going to grab the next level of night vision, because that's going to be a nice bonus. Let me make sure that under our production over here, that our mechanized is now level 3. Seems to me this should be like an automatic upgrade. I mean, it does reset your production queue, but that's okay. And then token motorized. It does say that we need some. Although, that's not... We're going to clear up a ton of motorized equipment relatively soon. Ton of motorized equipment is going to get freed up. Actually, a lot of our production stocks are going to change here as we do some redesigning. So again, what I'm be looking for is making a duplicate of this. This is going to be the modern tank division, and it's going to look more like modern tank, maybe something like this, and then we're going to have mechanized, more mechanized. And I guess it's under the tank that we need to put in the artillery here. Self-propelled artillery, and another one, actually. Is that enough tanks? More tanks would mean less mechanized infantry, which means we would get less organization. right? So the difference is infantry has high organization. It can fight for a really, really long time. And battles are lost when someone runs out of organization, right? That's when the battle stops. If you have a division that's 100% tanks, they will punch extraordinarily hard, but they might not punch for very long. They can still get the job done, but then they'll have to sort of stop and rest and whatever, and they're really bad at holding a line. So you want a bit of a mix. The self-propelled artillery does add a lot of extra damage over here. I think that's probably okay. We are almost certainly going to want the field hospital in here. So we need 60 points for doing something like this. So that's our goal here, which we may not be able to get, which is really awkward. I mean, I guess what I could do is just redesign the light tank divisions, just piecemeal, right? Start to swap out a few modern tanks. Or maybe even focus on the self-propelled artillery aspect of it. Or the mechanized infantry aspect of it. If we did this, and that, combat width goes up, which we have to remove. And remove, which puts us over the limit. What I guess I could do is I could do this. Remove 1. I want combat width to say under 19. That gives me enough points to do one more change here, which could be another self-propelled artillery. So this is going to slow us down by a lot. The light tank division is super fast, which is its strength, which means... And that's the thing, I don't really want to... I mean, no matter what, I guess I'd be doing duplicate, which I don't remember if I started with. No matter what, I would be doing a duplication. So this is going to be the thing that eventually becomes the modern tank division. And so I could accept that this is just going to be a little bit slower. Right now, it's not actually a modern tank division. You know, self-propelled artillery, remove you. Another self-propelled artillery, adding a lot of damage. And that's the limit of how many changes I can make right now. Combat with 20. What I'm going to do ultimately is replace these two with modern tanks. That'll probably be next. Replace these with mechanized, and then add one more swap this guy out for another modern tank. I mean, I could just start with this. It's fine. I've got a few of these in the bank, right? Oh yeah, it's not going to change right away. We actually only have 31 modern artillery in the bank. So maybe I should actually start by switching things over to the modern tanks, because I have some of those. 410 in storage. So get a couple of those down like that. And maybe replace one of you with some mechanized, because I have a little bit of that in the bank. Yeah, quite a bit, actually. Maybe I should focus on upgrading to the mechanized first. I could even, honestly... What if I focus, first things first, my light tank division. What if I switch you over to mechanized? What's the gain? The weight goes up, the supply goes up, but everything else is a huge win. So if I do one swap, just this by itself will require 1950 in total. But it's such a huge boost. And ultimately get all the light tank divisions to be upgraded to do this. And then switch over the actual tanks. Until we fade out light tanks completely or something of that nature. I think this is okay. So just by doing this one change, I'm going to use up 100% of my mechanized that I've got built. But we empower this by quite a bit. A lot of defense. It's probably worth doing. Oh, and then we can throw in the field hospital as well, using up more of our experience points. And support equipment, we're fine. We've got lots in storage. Okay, I think that's worth doing. There you go. That's our experience right there. Still have a ridiculous amount of light tanks kicking around. And they're not crap. They're not particularly modern, but they're not, you know, actually garbage. They still have a role that they can play. So it's not too bad. Meanwhile, how's our Navy coming along? Still a lot of people coming in here. And I really want to get everything in place. I mean, it would really suck if war broke out right this second. We still have the non-aggression pact with Germany. They might break it at any moment, but for now, we're okay. So we're still doing the training. So I'll keep doing the switch over for the light tanks piece by piece. I actually am wondering if I should make sure that my mechanized is working a little harder. These little stutters that happen in late game are really weird, and I don't know why. It happens completely at random. I mean, it's midnight, I guess, so clearly something is happening. But what? I still think... I don't know if it's the air interface or something with the air system overall, but something is incredibly laggy. Hell, this might be a crash. I'm going to be patient here. I'm going to be patient, but this actually kind of looks like a crash to me. Doop, 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 doo. Yeah, alright. Oh, oh, oh! No, we're going again! Hey! Awesome. Wow. Weird. I was going to do something else, and I have no idea what that was. Oh, right. So let me pause to make sure that nothing happens while they've got this open. Maybe there's something else. Clearly, we need a lot more of the mechanized. So I'm going to pop them to the top of the queue. And I'm going to get 2 more of these. Because even more than tanks, just having mechanized infantry is going to be super good. Also, I'm underestimating how much mechanized I might have had, because I might have had some, you know, some 2, some 1, some whatever. It still says we're producing tanks too. I think that just hasn't updated properly yet. This tab, come on. Yeah, it's all 3, which is good. I suspect with artillery we're going to be able to pull away from that. Again, like at midnight, maybe it's because I have this view open. Ew, that's not pleasant at all. How much is it recalculating every midnight? Okay, yeah, so I don't know what's going on. I just went through midnight without that screen being open, and there was no weird hang. So there's something going on with the screen being opened. I don't know. I don't understand. Anyway, I've shuffled some things around. Mechanized equipment is getting a huge priority here. We're going to try to pump that out quickly because I would like to make very, very, very heavy use of that. I mean, we're going to need it for all our tank divisions, and we actually have a surprising number of light tank divisions. And then we do have some medium tanks, so we're going to start folding those in as we go on. For now, we're going to be quite happy with just building up some more army experience. It's not terribly fast, but it is what it is. So let's take another run through. Home Guard. Okay, all these are going to be pretty much static. Actually, I'm not convinced we need quite as many in our... this is our island and Indian defense. Not sure that we need quite as many over here. So the ones that belong to me, I'm going to take them out. Obviously, we don't really particularly care about cavalry, but that's going to be fine for now. I'm going to add them to one of these battle plans here, like that one over there. So they'll make their way over, and that's going to be okay. Cavalry, I don't know what I'm going to replace you with yet. That's okay. So, can I trim down any more of these? Oh, yeah, a few of these more are mine. Some are garrison units. Actually, a lot of them are mine. And honestly, I don't know, like, apparently I still have these guys out on rental. I don't know if that's going to be the case. The garrisons obviously are going to have to be replaced with a proper division type of some kind. And it might be even something radical, like I might just turn them into armored divisions, which means effectively it'll be the same as building them from scratch, and in fact they'll be green and maybe it's really, really bad, but I think that's going to be okay. So right, so we have multiple attack fronts. There's actually like a triple wide over here, because I still have this one really ridiculous one, which I think I'm going to cancel your orders. And just get you to be, say here, a little less overlappy. Like that. Which will probably require a lot of adjustment later on, but that's okay. And really your job is going to be to push the front up to the mountains so that we can unify this territory. That's going to be your real job. So you can shuffle around and do whatever you want over here, keep training. Definitely still have to connect this up. That's going to be good. How's our... We need a lot more aluminum. Sure, we'll borrow it from the Germans. And a lot more steel. Same thing. We didn't get any of that in the peace deal. A lot of tungsten and oil and rubber, though. And we're probably trading a lot of it away. Convoys, wow. For trade and supply, 2,400. I didn't realize our convoys were being hammered quite that hard. So we're going to go and get a second convoy line going. And we're going to make sure these guys are at the top. So as factories become enabled, actually, what I'll do is I'll turn that off and then turn that back on. There we go. Build up on the convoys. I was not expecting that. We are using a lot of them to shuffle some troops around. And we're having to send a lot of our resources over sea. Because we have a lot of little pockets and islands and things. I'm hoping that once we stop moving quite as many troops, then maybe it'll be okay. Keep seeing this and thinking things are being attritioned really badly, but it's not. It's just the training. So we're okay. And again, we're not really short of anything here, so that's going to be good. So I do want to load a lot more troops in here, which is interesting. So, like, I don't need as many in the UK. Because while I do want to go and burst through this... Actually, let me split you in half. I'm going to make a new guy over here. Just give you some general. Congratulations. You're going to come here. And yeah, you'll have to be reselected. Okay, no, we're good. And then your offensive line will push to, say, down there. But right now you're going to go on exercise duty, which you've got. Great. But I'm going to borrow these two because they are people that belong to me. And I'm going to go and put you there. We'll have to hunt out some Marines soon, though, as well. And then this group here, which is also part of the UK group. Yes, it is. Same thing. I'm going to grab some of you guys. Because I don't expect the UK to be quite as strongly defended. And, oh, no. This is part of that attack. My bad. It's group gold here. Actually, you are having supply problems, so it's probably important that I trim you back a whole lot. Like that. And we will add you to this front here. So you can get out of there and hopefully get supplied. The lack of convoys may be part of it, or they may just be too packed in here. I'm not sure. It is winter, and a lot of the infrastructure might be smashed up. Yeah, it's half broken is part of it. So that was part of the issue. So we'll get you in position. So our Marines, I think what I'm going to have to do is grab my army, sort by type. They should all be called Marines, I hope. No, of course they're not called Marines. And if I rename this, so Riku was the Marines. If I rename this to Marines, it may not affect this. Oh, wrong. Go away. Close. Apparently escape does not work there. Also misspelling things, but there we go. Maybe that's all it was all along. So you guys are going to be in a new army. That's going to be added to the Blitz. I'll make you dark blue. So I'm going to check here as well if Riku... Oh, we had other types of Rikus as well. Blitz Army 32, which is Marine Group. Okay, so presumably those are all my current Marines. You're still going to train. You're going to halt all your current orders, but not really. I'll put you to garrison over here so that you're going to be in the right neighborhood for the Marine invasions. So again, I'll try 3. Kiel may get repelled pretty easily, although if that pulls troops away from this front to defend, then that's actually going to work out halfway okay. I would also like a paratrooper attack on Berlin itself, which I think we can do. The idea is to use maximum speed to take all that when we can. Also, tanks. So we got more experience. I can do another swap, which actually is not a terrible idea here. I don't have the equipment, but let's replace one of these. And that'll put us above the width, but that's okay. With some self-propelled artillery. Oh, I don't have any. God damn it. Really? Come on. It responds so slowly that I end up clicking a second time. I guess I just have the one line being produced. Obviously, we're going to need more than that. Drop it down, drop it down, drop it down. There's a lot of things we still need. There we go. Get in there. We'll get you to start producing soon. So I have to remember to keep pausing now whenever that frickin' screen is open, because otherwise the game's going to hang for some reason. I should probably just be paused in most screens now, because there's just too much stuff going on. Manpower pool is going up a little bit, despite the attrition. So, is my navy all together now? Go away, filter. No, not yet. I don't even know if these are heading over here. Oh, some of this might be new units as well. So I'll go ahead and send them here anyway, but after that, we're going to stop. So this group here, we can actually already start building something more substantial. We're going to split off all the submarines and get rid of you. And what we're going to do is I want to split off like half the destroyers. So if we go down to destroyers, there's no easy way to do it. Well, that's not true, because I could split off all destroyers, take the destroyers, split them in half. There we go. Then grab this and say, get rid of the subs, get rid of that, merge these two together. There we go. And then split in half, split in half again. That is a pretty terrifying force. And maybe I'm going to need to split things up a little bit more than this, but I'm not sure. I kind of like this. And then the idea being is you will be on patrol duty. Baltic, Eastern North Sea, English Channel. Next up, you, which will again be split in half. Another admiral. You are going to be patrolling the Bay of Biscay, the Iberian coast, and the African coast. African coast is probably not that important, but I'm really worried about not having control of the Mediterranean. Which might actually mean I send in a ridiculous fleet into the Mediterranean. Group these up. Oh, and I have to set up home bases as well. Ideally somewhere that doesn't get bombarded too easily, which might be hard. Not really a good place to put it. You, gonna get that. And I'm going to put you on search and destroy to be a little bit more dominant. Into here. Because if we're going to do any invasions of Italy, it's going to be through this area there. We'll try to have other types of air superiority going on. And over here, I'm going to make sure that we radar up this area a lot. Anti-air this area here with the ship specifically. Hell, we might do all of it too. That's the priority, but I mean, it's all pretty whatever. And also, we need to make sure we have a maximum level naval base here. Oops. There, so that the ships repair and have maximum support. And that's going to be important. Group purple here. I'm going to split you in half, put you into a new group. Put some of you up here with that offensive plan. And then actually I'm going to split off half of you again. And just put you on that there. We also may want garrison duty in some of the front lines. We'll see. Yeah, so you're not out of supply. You're not actually being attritioned. Yeah, I should probably convert a lot of the groups somewhere, or figure out where I want what, and flip things over to be reasonable army types. So my Blitz, for example, say I'm not going to use any garrison types in the Blitz. Probably just infantry. I don't want to switch them more than once, though, so I have to be 100% sure what they're actually going to turn into. If I switch them over to, well, they'd still be light armor divisions. I don't know if that's really representative of what they will be. And overall, while I do have a fair amount of armor divisions, I don't have that many. Now, you don't have anything useful over here, right? No. In fact, I could free up a little bit of equipment by making these guys properly just garrison units. That's what they're supposed to be in the home guard areas. I don't own you. I don't own any of you, which is great. That's not true. These are garrisons, but that's fine. All the infantry I don't own. You over here, you're a garrison. And I don't actually own you guys. So that's fantastic. I don't suppose I have anyone else who's not an army. And in fact, I do. Whoops. I think they're going to hit the Benelux region. Their job may just be to hold that region as long as possible. Wow, we have a lot of people here. I'm a little bit worried about supplies over there, but as soon as the infrastructure gets built up, naval bases, whatever, we should be okay. So like this blue line over here is mostly there to be kind of garrison-ish. And we will give you a field marshal as well. Whereas Gold Group is going to be more involved in pushing. So actually, these guys, I was going to say, if I had any tanks there, and I don't. I mean, there's foreign armored divisions, which is okay. And I have a few people I control directly. But I was going to say, I want to transfer them over to this, because this push is actually a lot more important. Now, is there anywhere I want to move my mountain divisions to? Well, I suppose if they're going to be anywhere, it would make the most sense to have them over in this area, in particular in the Turkey attack zone. In fact, that's pretty much the only place where the Mountaineers are going to be extraordinarily relevant, until we get into Italy specifically. So what I'm tempted to do is search for Alpine, Mountain. There we are. And we do have a lot of them. See, these Marines are not correctly named. Now, of course, I can just convert them into a different unit type, but if they're already mountain units, why not make a crazy good Turkish invasion force? Like that. And then you are over limit, but that's okay, because I can pull some of you guys out of there. Supply is going to be hard, so we really don't want anyone who's not maximum strength and or not owned by me. So we can just pull a lot of you guys out of here. Cavalry doesn't do too bad in there, actually. But still, I'm going to take you out as well and move you to that. Experience points continues to tick up. But it is definitely slow. I mean, again, once the war starts, we're going to be fine, but I would like the units to be switched over before then. Probably, I'm thinking something like next summer. We might be able to hold for a year here before we go again. So here's where a lot of my tanks are. Plus a little bit more artillery. The idea is to rush in here quickly and cut off anything from back here. In fact, I think I'm going to draw like a secondary offensive line to push up to this river here. Get behind the mountains and just cut off as many people here as possible. Pincer them in just a little bit. So, red group here. Add a secondary attack to like meet up at this river. I mean, this is a very grandiose plan and is unlikely to survive first contact with the enemy. But we can see what we can do. Reclaim this land properly. That's good. Still have to reassign the airfield, the Air Force. I have my planes are not currently deployed, but that's all right. We're going to build up our ridiculous critical mass. So yeah, if we can just clean up the UK in general, you know, Great Britain, Ireland, you're in the Allies. We're actually not going to war again. It's going to be fine. I have no intention of declaring war against the Allies. It's just the Axis. So if we do this, we can take Great Britain out of the equation right away, so we don't have to worry about that. Hell, if I declared war now, again. Well, okay, you've got a barrier there, and you are redeploying your troops. So I sort of missed the opportunity to maybe completely sneak attack the the Germans, but that's okay. And again, I do want to do a probably paratroopers to land directly on Berlin, or perhaps next to Berlin. In fact, part of me is wondering if I land here and help out on the assault on Stettin that my amphibious assault's going to do. Speaking of amphibious assault, you guys, I'm going to split you in half. Give you another good general. So your battle plan is going to be this. You're going to come from here to there and advance just a little bit like that. British Parliament debates intervention in Scandinavia. Well, they're just going through the rest of their ideas. It's fine. You're going to start in Copenhagen, end up in Rostock, and then just expand your offensive line a little bit afterwards. And you go back to training. And yeah, I probably need to go and bop into Kiel as well. How many people do I got sitting around North America? Is it too many? There's really not that many. And then there's Washington as well. It's part of the Free American Empire. But again, what I really need to do is, I'm talking about all this cleanup. What I need to do is make sure to get Berlin and the other victory points in Germany as quickly as possible to get them to capitulate. Just do a victory point rush. So while holding this is important, it's not really that important. So the Russian front, I'm going to keep pulling some people off of you. Now, which actually, while it is nice to cut off all those dudes, I'm wondering over here. You belong to an army, you don't have any orders? There you go. I'm wondering if these tank groups, if this whole move, I don't know, this could actually take out a whole lot of people. And we could keep pushing. But I could take these tanks and get them over here preemptively. These are not even proper military units. Do I really want to use garrisons for that? Or not really. I could switch them over to infantry, but do I have the manpower for it is a huge question mark. I got a couple more tanks. I think I'm going to go and steal these and add them to that. What else we got here? I mean, without tanks, this front's not going to push that well either. But I guess it is somewhat less important. Ooh, okay, this front was going to be a really aggressive push forward, but again, I don't... You know what? I think it's going to be fine. I think our cutoff move is going to be sufficient. I'm going to take all these guys away from you. So we're going to have a ridiculous amount. Yes, there's still light tanks over here, but we're going to do that. And actually, we end up with slightly too many for one army. And while that might end up being just fine, I'm going to take 6 of these away for now and add them over here. And are you seriously still having problems with supply? Because your naval base is not good enough. East Anglian naval base, also that's broken, but it's the naval base more than anything else. Which presumably I have the production set up, yes. So East Anglia. Can I sort by location? No. There it is. Nope. Well, I'll put you to the top anyway. East Anglian naval base. There we go. We may not need actually the infrastructure. It's already got 7. It's only got 3 infrastructure. It's got 3 and then 3 more damaged, I think. So I'm not going to build any more after that. We're going to be sufficient. But getting the naval base and getting the infrastructure fixed is going to be important. So we can actually get rid of the supply problems altogether. We do have a lot of planes. That is going to be one of the strongest parts. We're also building a lot of naval bases over here. Like a crap ton. In fact, I'm wondering if I can dial back my plane production. If we take a look at fighters, how many fighter 3s do we have? Which is presumably one of these. I don't know. We have a lot of something. I don't know what the names of my planes are. That makes it very annoying. Let's pause before my game lags again. No, this screen. Ki-84s. The Hayatis. Yeah, we have, well, 4,000. But we don't have any deployed, really. And 4,000 planes not that much. We do have also, like, what was it, 5,000 or 6,000 of the Fighter 2s. That is a pretty good amount. That is a pretty good amount. And all these air bases are set to become upgraded. We just haven't yet. And that's going to be an important part of it. So again, you know, going fast may be the better way to ensure victory against Germany. But at this point, just trying to do it right is good. I mean, of course, Germany's building up stuff themselves as well. But I think... I wonder if I can get some stats. What is your industrial base over here? So you've got, let's call it something like let's say, be pessimistic, 350 military factories versus my 372. So I have more military factories. Civilian factories, I have 390. You have clearly less. So I should be outproducing them. But I think I have more production to make up for. Also, my convoys are still being absolutely hammered. Trade and supply just wrecking me. Yeah, I'm not even using that much for transferring troops at all. And some of them are already reserved for the naval invasion, which may or may not have been a brilliant move right now. But now I am double producing my convoys. But yeah, we're just so spread out with no real ability to send a lot of stuff overland. I gotta get some troops over here too. I guess it's all a question of priority. I don't really want to use these guys as a primary, but maybe I should start to do that. Obviously the home guard's gotta stay. But the ones that belong to me are actually getting supply problems as well. Make a new group and a new theater for Italy. And actually, one of the things we need to make sure we don't do, so I'm going to use garrison units here, is don't lose these islands. Oh, you bastard. Do not want to click on the airbase. There you go. I want to do that. In fact, I'm going to tell these cavalry units to just become regular garrison units. That's going to be perfectly fine here. So try to hold control of that, because I don't want to get invaded, because having a lot of naval bombers here is a huge part of my strategy. Just control the seas with naval bombardment plus fighters, so that we don't lose our naval dominance. We are going to have to get some troops actually positioned over here, though. And we don't really have the manpower. I can't throw more manpower at this. My one hope is, like, superior tech or something like that, which seems pretty dubious. I don't know. Speaking of dubious, these units. Right, my plan is to, like, swap some of them over, but I'm wondering about, like, making the armor divisions now. We've got plenty of light tanks. Actually, we have enough available of everything. Obviously, it's going to make, you know, converting these over a little harder, but that's okay. You're still training, so hopefully they won't be green. Alright, that's not bad. This guy here, he's almost a full 24, and half of it is tanks. Let's do another one. Get rid of the cavalry. Now, I don't know if that's going to be enough to punch through or not. No clue. We'll have to find out once things start, of course. I don't know if my naval invasions are sufficient. But yeah, hopefully we'll get a lot of air support going on in here. This is lightweight. It feels like... So how many divisions are we talking about here with Germany? They have no planes. Holy crap. Although that only counts deployed planes, so it's very deceptive. So let's assume they've got something like 800 divisions versus my 500. That is not pleasant. Total mobilization is good. Well, I'm only on extensive conscription. I never went up to service by requirement. Really? Well, we can do that when the next war starts, to just unlock a ton of manpower if we start to run out. That's good. I don't want to do it now because it's going to hurt our factory output. That's actually very good. And yeah, our freaking convoys. Just brutalized. It doesn't help, of course, that all my troops overseas are getting constantly attritioned. Right? Towed rocket artillery. More soft attack. Now, do we know what kind of composition? I'm not seeing a lot of armor here. I'm seeing some motorized divisions, but it's mostly infantry. There's some armor down there. And it looks pretty modern. Mostly it's, you know, the numbers that I'm looking at here. So I'm not too worried about anti-tank guns being added to it. And in fact, the rocket artillery may be very much the secret weapon that we're looking for. So I would really like to add some self-propelled artillery over here. I realize we don't have enough. but I'm okay with it. I'm going to remove that so our combat width doesn't go too high. Let's save that. We'll add another one after. We are trying to produce them. If we go and pause and take a look at our production screen, armored vehicles. What am I going to take away production from? Is anything listed as just being outright filled? Not yet. I'm going to cancel another one of these artillery lines, especially if we're looking to do self-propelled later on. In fact, I'm going to get rid of more of it, and I'm going to be okay with that. And then we've got some extra factories. These guys will come up to efficiency at some point. I'm actually wondering if the right thing to do is to focus on the mechanized. But again, I've got 4 lines. That'll come up to efficiency as well. I could start on low-level self-propelled artillery. But no, I think what's going to happen is I am going to go and develop just more tank. More self-propelled artillery. And another line of modern tanks over here. There we go. Now, let's take a look at our trade situation, because we are tweaking this a lot. Let's get some more aluminum. Let's get a bunch more steel. And yeah, it's giving more civilian factories, but I think that's okay. Although maybe I should trade with someone else to give Germany less of a boost. I don't know. I think it's fine. Alright, so I realize this is not particularly exciting. But at the same time, I don't know, maybe it's building drama. But I gotta put a cut in here. Thank you very much for watching, folks. I'll see you guys next time.